Hey folks, another face behind the Let's Plays of actually something I haven't talked before in a face behind the Let's Play in a while is video games. But somewhat video games, somewhat going beyond that. One thing I've not been able to figure out for the life of me is at least definitely the American culture, perhaps other cultures as well, the absolute obsession with banning any type of nudity whatsoever. That there's really only two forms of nakedness: classical art or pornography. Nothing in between. And I think it's a real disservice when you start looking at great storylines and you start looking at great works. I will stand behind and will stand behind for a very long time that video games are a form of art. I don't want to call them high art yet. High art being something that you've really reached a master level. I don't think that any video game. I don't think there's been a Shakespeare of video game development yet. I don't think there's been someone that stands miles and miles and miles above everyone to create a true masterpiece. I just haven't seen it yet. But that doesn't mean that it will never come. And a part of the great joy in it, in game playing, is seeing the evolution and seeing how these games have evolved more and more. But the one thing that always seems to confuse me is nudity in a game. My YouTube channel was banned for a while for Witcher 2 because of nudity in the game, which I was really pretty angry about. I put a warning at the very beginning of the video saying that there was nudity in this video, putting in the spots where, between these points there's going to be nudity. Before the scene actually started, I put in a whole screen. I edited my video, put in a whole screen saying that yes, there's going to be nudity at this point. Please click this link to anchor past it. I was banned for nudity. Now, what's interesting is that the YouTube terms of service are very, very vaguely worded. It's something along the lines of, if it's meant to basically be like porn. I forget the exact words that they use, but something along the lines of, it's meant to be erotic in nature. No, it's not even the words. I forget the words that they use there, but it is somewhat vague, and I had argued against it that the sex scene in The Witcher and the nudity in The Witcher helped to set the scene for what type of game it was, that it was a bit darker, that it wasn't, the happy-go-lucky adventure. And I mean, isn't it just funny that I can create a game where there's buckets and buckets of blood, mass murder, mass slaughter, killing everything in my wake, and that's not going to get banned on YouTube. There's really no problem with that. And trust me, I understand that YouTube doesn't want to become a pornography website. I understand that. But what really annoyed me in this whole thing was that I couldn't flag my own videos for adult material. The way, at least then, and I think it's still the way it works now, if you want to flag a video for adult content on YouTube, you basically have to flag the video yourself, or enough people have to flag it, then a YouTube review board looks at it. Completely subjective. And there's no communication with them. You can't talk with them, you can't defend your point. They look at it, they say, oh, nope, sex, done, killed. Or, yeah, I can see why he went with this. Okay, we're going to put an age restriction on it. I would love to flag my own videos to be 18 and over or something for the sex scenes. But I think that the sex scenes do help to add in a level of art. I don't understand why we glorify violence, but we walk away from sex like it's the ugliest thing in the world. I think George R. R. Martin had some quote on that he can spend 5 pages discussing an axe splitting someone's head in half, but if he goes to any type of sex scene, people will boycott his books. And obviously Martin doesn't care, because if you've read the Song of Ice and Fire, well, but it baffles my mind why we are so caught up in it. That why violence is perfectly fine and justifiable, and that we as a species are mature enough to understand violence. but we're not mature enough as a species to understand sex. That there are levels of sex between jack-off material and, 2,000-year-old artwork. That there are levels in between that. And to discount all of that just seems like such a unenlightened, maybe is the word? Just seems like a very immature view, I guess, really. That why? And it really it really concerns me about what to do for the future. I'm not sure. I'm battling the battle in my head of if there's any nudity in The Witcher 3, will I show those scenes? I am very much against censoring those types of scenes because I think that it is a form of art, and to censor art is a wrong thing to do. However, I put my YouTube channel on the line that I could very well and very easily get banned for that type of thing. So it puts me in a very difficult situation of my integrity saying that it's art, or, not. And it's not enough. As I said the last time, I tried to put in all of the warning signs I could, and that wasn't good enough. So it really does concern me for the future. But I guess that's kind of a bridge I've been going. We'll burn it when we get to it. So we'll go from there. But as always, folks, I figured I'd give a little rant and go from there. So as always, thanks for watching. Tune in to the next of Face Behind the Let's Plays, or whatever this is. Thanks for watching, folks.